going on, guys? It's Roman from Import DPS and Abraham from Rated R. And as you know, a lot of you guys follow us and throughout this journey we've been through. It hasn't been easy, and you've seen the ups and downs. Started from the whole World Cup final crash to the one in Puerto Rico in February, and then to the most recent one here in December in Orlando. But as you can tell, we always keep it moving. We always keep going forward. And last month we decided to bring back the new car down to Orlando and give it some test hits. And pretty much the beauty here because we can't do much in the World Cup. Alright, so going down here, first pass of the day, right on the trailer, which was one of our first and only hits that we got with the car after figuring it out. It was driven by Steven Rivera.
¿Cuántas millas fue? 169.
And we ran a 804 at 160, if I'm not mistaken. The low mileage is due to because we had to let off a little bit early in that pass. Our driver was getting comfortable with the car. And then, but overall the car worked pretty well. It worked just as expected compared to our other classes in our home track at ACO. As you know, the path is progressive, so with that being said, having more power also requires making changes into our fuel system, which we decided to go with the mechanical fuel pump in this car, which also led to us doing a front mounted fuel cell. And in our second pass of the night, we ran into a problem where the tank wasn't properly set up to not start for fuel when you applied enough force from takeoff, and we actually caught some air, and that made the car go into a limo, a boost cut you could say, and we had to avoid that pass. But we managed to take the tank out, get it welded, and put it back on, and then resolve that problem. So after fixing that problem with the fuel cell, we then ran an 813, which we also had to, did we let go on that one?
That was slightly, yeah.
No, I think that was a full pass. Yeah, that was a full pass where we noticed we actually had a boost problem where the car would not see nothing else over 52, 55 PSI. And with these new turbos from Precision, we should be somewhere close to the 70, 67 range. So we were short a decent amount of power, and we started changing parts left and right. We went from taking another car apart to change wastegates, change diaphragms a couple times, change boost solenoids, and then that's when we ended up in the very next class, which also did the exact same problem, where we were short about 15 to 18 PSI. Pretty much couldn't figure it out at that because you would figure you would target everything that has to do with creating boost, and that wasn't the problem at that point. I guess we switched a bad wastegate with another bad wastegate, so yeah, that didn't help. So after that Saturday pass of 811, even though we were qualified number 1 and we were sitting in a good position, we decided to take another hit on Sunday. And even though we had a buy run, we decided to make a pass, make sure we might have corrected the boost issue since we had made more changes the night before. And that's when that pass happened where we actually hit the wall with the brand new setup. There's a lot of people saying a lot of different opinions of what happened, what might have happened, what caused it. But to this point, I still say that our driver got distracted from the door flying off, and then there was a moment of hesitation, and it caused it was an accident. But he was fine. The car was slightly damaged, but as you can see, we got it back to running in a matter of weeks. After that last accident, we decided to leave the car and trailer down here so we could get the car fixed and give it another try, because of the weather conditions down here is a lot better than what we would face now with having no tractor race up north. So leaving the trailer and equipment down here was one of our best options if we wanted to get the job that we were trying to do and have it done. So I actually came back down here with one of my guys 2 weeks after the accident, completely took the car apart and dropped it off at AKT shop, where it pretty much stayed, and he helped us out tremendously with getting the car back and forth from and to the body shop and everything else that had to do with fabrication of the car that had to be redone. So after making those arrangements of getting the car fixed down here, we decided to not take the car back home without giving it one more shot to end our 2019 season, but entering the 2020 season on the right foot, which is running the numbers that we should have ran at the ending of the last season. But we were cut short because, like I said, we ran into a lot of problems because we did build this car in a short period of time because of time restrictions and all of our other duties and responsibilities that we had at our shop. So I want to Abe explain what further went on to making it to this trip and to the point where we are now with the car.
Back in December when we had the last accident, while the guys came down here to assess all the damage and really take a good look at it to what we had to do, well, my duty was go over all the data and come up with a plan on what it needed to be done for the car to everything go right, because we were still facing little issues here and there. The boost issue that Ron mentioned earlier, we had a weird O2 sensor placement issue that was messing with like the tune-up of the car and everything. So the car, like, the damage was a little bit bigger, so we planned it ahead. We just come a week before to do, finish the car, bolting it up together, just bolt it up together and do some testing. And then, when we got here, it was a little bit more than needed to be done, so we ended up finished bolting the car together here at the track Saturday this weekend at the event. So, taking you through the first pass, my first concern is not just going, figuring the whole car out, going A to B. It's just, keeping the car safe, because it's obviously now like we got a little past trick, we having accidents and whatever. So I've been on the driver's seat lately, but like doing rear wheel drive stuff. So it's been almost 2 years since I drove front wheel drive. So it kind of like the car took me a little bit by surprise. Last time I drove the other car, it was nothing like this one. Like, this chassis is a way better car, it lives harder. So I was a little bit out of the groove, and when I clicked second, it's just like the steering wheel completely slid off my hand, like almost like the torque steer almost broke my wrist. So, you know, at that point, I just trying to wheel the car, you know, get it, you know, make sure we don't hit the wall, get it off the wall, and we go back to the pits and try to, you know, figure out exactly what is going on, you know, start reviewing footage and data and everything. And that's when we decide, you know, to make adjustments for the next hit. Second pass of the car, now we didn't want to make any major changes since we noticed that the car was slightly off the groove, and I admitted that it was like kind of steering wheel like slip off my hand. So what I did was I really took all the power out of the car and just try to launch, go to A to B, and grab some data, you know, see if the car feels straight, how they act on top, you know, like a shutdown area. So we managed to go 833, 183. I mean, the car was still a little bit like wobbly, in my opinion. So that's when we decide, you know, we came back and we decided to make, now we're going to start making some real like suspension adjustments and try to, you know, get one more hit to qualify. Now we're trying to qualify, you know, on the top part of the ladder, and that's when we did our third run. The third run, me and Ron get together, we go over the data, we decide to make some adjustment to help to get the car go a little bit more straight, but also I'm looking a little bit more grip since this chassis is a little bit, it was set up one way for Steven, and then I'm a little bit heavier, so we have to mess up with setup. So, you know, we at the same time trying to get the car straight, but trying to fine tune the suspension to do what we want to do. And, you know, I do the burnout. Get it, you know, put it on the beam, get on the two-step. When I launch, final drive brakes.
After that, slight carnage from that pack break in the final drive. We had to come back to the pits and make some major mechanic work. We had to check the transmission down, and then lucky for us, we were able to have the parts in hand in our trailer to make the job a little bit easier, and then make the swap overnight, which we didn't get no sleep, and maybe overlooked something with the clutch slave cylinder or master cylinder. But we had to drop the transmission back down a second time at like 4 o'clock in the morning.
No, 6 o'clock in the morning actually.
I felt like 4.
Yeah.
But we ended up finishing this car at 7:30 is when we turned on the car finally, and actually managed to get the transmission downside to where we tried to be able to make another hit.
Alright, so taking you guys to the first round eliminations, to give you guys a little bit more detailed explanation. The night before we broke the final drive, and like Ron said, we came back to the pits, took the transmission down, but then when we take the transmission down, we realized that we do have the parts to get the car running, but they weren't the actual parts that we were the actual combo that we were
The same ratio
we were running on the car. We've been doing testing with a brand new car, so already, you know, I get pitch a curvo, we got to change ratios, and that affects how the way the car behaves and everything. Then fast forward to 6 in the morning when we trying to put the car, like test the transmission, then we're having a clutch issue. The way we do some of the launch stuff on this car, it depends on a clutch pressure sensor. So that was acting up, and by the end of the morning when we had to go to the line, I decided to change the launch strategy to base it on vehicle speed. And actually, I use a little bit harder launch than what I usually would use since we changed ratio. But I overlooked the fact that doing it with that strategy, it has a delay on how the car recovers from the anti-lag, and that affected the way when I try to launch the car actually just did too much and bug on me. So I try like to, you know, wake up the car, but by the time the car kind of wanted to wake up, the other guy was by the 3:30. It was too late. So I was like, you know what, it's just, at this point I'm really frustrated. We already, another trip to Florida, we've been here for almost over a week, away from our families and our jobs, and you know, we couldn't make it through a 820 car, you know. So when we come back, and obviously I feel like it's my fault, so I sit on the car for like about an hour just looking everything on the data, every little detail, till I actually pinpoint what actually went wrong, what I actually, you know, I was able to troubleshoot, you know, the issue really quick. And that's when I found the confidence right away. Like I told Roma, listen, I think I got it now. Right now is about 2-3 in the afternoon. We already eliminated, but we made some calls, and the Orlando Speed World staff let us, you know, make some test runs. They were okay, like, you know, they know the struggle we've been through, and they know we came all the way down here just to try to get this car figured out and participate at the event as well. So we go to the lanes, we pull up to the lanes, and you know, I go do the pass, and my mentality still is, alright, clean pass, A to B, you know, some data, and keep it off the walls. So, you know, I do the burnout, the car sounds really good. I already feel the difference, the way the car reacted when I dumped the clutch on the burnout and everything. Ron pulls me to the beams, light up the two-step, go through every gear. I mean, the car feels really like smooth and amazing, but at this point, I don't feel like the car is, wow, it's that quick. And, well, I get down there, sit down, and wait for the guys till they get the news. Alright, so, you know, I'm down there, and it's been like 5 minutes. I don't know if it's about adrenaline or excitement or whatever, but I haven't felt my phone ringing, nothing, and it's like the event already have gone a couple rounds, so the track is not that packed, like traffic-wise, going back to the shutdown area, and I don't see the guys, so I figure like, I probably just went, like, I felt better than the 8:30 Friday, but at least we went A to B. I'm happy about that. And then the guys come over here all pumped up, and that's when they tell me we just went 797 at 191, which is a really, I mean, it's an amazing feature for us, just because it's a fairly new car, and then in the process of just testing a brand new car, we have to repair it, then change drivers, then change setup at the track. So, you know, at this point, I'm just really happy how I was like, wow, we got now a project with more potential. So sure, we go back to the pits, plug in the laptop, look at the data, and I realized that, wow, I think we can go a little bit faster. Rom says that, yo, I think we got time there. Got time to make another run. So I'm like, alright, let's cool it down, go over everything looks good, we go another time. Alright, so I pull, you know, we pull to the staging lanes, and the track is ready to, you know, put the car on the Christmas tree and call it a day, because the event is completely over. They ran all the classes through, so Ozzy and Gabi let us go through again. So at this point, I'm on the burnout box. When I'm on the burnout box, one of my guys come and tell me, hey, they said that if you launch and you don't feel anything right, you just back up. So sure enough, I launch, and it's like I did some kind of like double stepping on the two steps, so I wasn't kind of long enough. So the car didn't bug. It came out kind of strong, but know how I wanted to come out. So by the time I pressed the clutch, I almost way past the 60, so I reversed all the way back out, and then I focus myself and I'm like, alright, this is the last run we got till we gotta go back to the cold weather and sit out for the next couple months. So I definitely, put everything together. Like I focus on just launching perfect, and sure enough, the car left beautiful. Like short track, really good. It felt good through the gears, and it just felt really, really fast. As soon as I'm unstrapping myself, I still got the car running. I like to let the car run for a little bit before I shut it down, and I feel my phone vibrating. So I'm like, alright, this is good. My phone is vibrating already. I ain't even out of the car. So I really don't know who it was yet, and I'm sorry because it was a 407 number. Somebody told me, hey, everything went good. You good? Everything good? Yeah, the car is good. Oh, you just went 790. So right away, like I kind of got emotional at that moment, because it's like, damn, like just a few hours ago we were just about to go home on another wasted trip, and now I feel like we're back on track. Like we accomplished what we set up for when we left here back in December. It was to start on the right foot 2020 season, and that's exactly what we did. Like now we set the tone. Now everybody knows what we about, and now I think we're gonna go back to the shop, give her some love and be ready for the season.
I also like to add that the amount of support that we get from a lot of the sponsors and companies that are out there, whether they're just reaching out to us and congratulating us, or to just acknowledge whatever we just did at the day, or just to ask how the car is doing or how the team is doing. We appreciate that, but the same way we get positive feedback, we've also been getting a lot of negative feedback as well, because it's just like we've been hit with bad luck back to back to back. But at the same time, a lot of those same people got to see that we ain't giving up. We ain't out there crying about it. We're not out there trying to look like the victim or play the victim of any sort. We actually just close yourself in the shop and just pop up again and make things happen. And then I'm not gonna say I would want it to happen again, but I'm pretty sure if it does happen again, you guys already know that you can count us back in. Yeah. And there's a lot of people that go through little small things in an event, where there's blowing the head gasket, breaking the transmissions, and they pack up and go home. We've been known to do some crazy ass things and just keep the whole event going and keep the crowd hype, and that's what it's all about. At the end of the day, even though this is a hobby for us, we do carry a big following when it comes down to our business and how we run it, and we always feel that we owe it to them as well, to keep doing the things we do. And even though we came and laid this number down, we still know that it will only get better, and we plan on making everything possible to keep getting better results with the changes we make, and working with these companies to keep improving these parts in order to do so.
Moving forward, the future plans with the car is, as usual, this is a learning process. We keep learning the car. We're trying to go faster, make it consistent, and we got a couple races in mind this year. We just honestly waiting on a set of rules of certain series to come out, to just make sure if we're gonna run that particular series, then we're gonna have Pan Americans as usual, and other local events and World Cup. Pretty much is, the engine program part and like chassis wise, the car is really close to where we wanted to be at, but we also, in the future we're going to be testing some other little stuff, moving forward, and trying to innovate a little bit to give you guys, different options and better products also. And it's just keep going out there and, give you guys a good show, good racing out there, and make drag racing great again.
We will be taking a few farther trips. What is it? Is it in Las Vegas or just Cali? Period.
Well,
where's that track at?
honestly, we were trying to do Fontana. I really would love to go to Texas, the TX2K race. That's something I really think it would be really fun to do, the stick shift class, especially where this car is at now. You know, we might land somewhere on that class and be a lot of fun. We can alter the trim of the car a little bit and, you know, have some fun with it.
We're definitely going to try to put in a show for those far away customers that we have, that they, even though they buy parts from us day in and day out, and they've never got to meet us, they never got to see the cars in person, we're going to give them, you know, what they asked for. They've been asking us to go to the West Coast since we started racing, pretty much. And I think it's time. The time is due. So yeah, a Cali trip is definitely on plans for this year, as well as attending some of our favorite at-home events in ACO. And then we might come back down here in Orlando at the end of the season. Texas is a must. And something different that a lot of people are just starting to notice is the trend of the competition. You know, we've been competing, let's say with like Chapulín, with Sean, and a few other guys, and then now that Chapulín tunes with Abe and we're around each other more often, even though we have that friendship, you know, in the lanes is still no holds barred. Like, it's still the same usual work. Somebody's gonna get it. You know? So don't feel like the class is gonna get boring just because we are being part of a lot of the teams that we were rival with before. Like Rafa just bought Sean's car. Sean's been one of our biggest rivals for a couple of years now. But at the end of the day, whether it's me, Rafa, or Chapulín going in the lanes, we will put down a show and try to go as fast as we can, you know, and hopefully be the crew that gives you guys the first 7-second side-by-side pass in an event.
Now there's more probability of all three of them cars being at the same venue, racing each other. It's gonna be a lot more fun. Like, we already talked about it. We're just gonna bring a really good show for the people. It's gonna be a lot of good racing this year.
And even if you look at some of the other cars that have been racing, the way that these cars are set up, they are going to get faster, but we will hit a cap on it
eventually.
You know, and how fast can we get? That's something we would have to see, because who would have thought that we would have been going 7s or 790s, 780s with a front-wheel drive on a small tire with a 72mm turbo on it, you know, with all these other restrictions on it. And you know, you have companies like Precision Turbo that came out with this really sick unit, you know, which out of nowhere just gave us another 200 plus horsepower and really leveled up this class. You know, even with the 67, it's just crazy. I don't know how fast we're gonna get, but I'm pretty sure you will see my car and every other car we have in our team continue to push these limits until we do hit that cap that we do not know where it's going to take us. Alright guys, so let's wrap this up, and you guys can always reach out to us on the social medias. Our work emails are always listed on our social medias. Follow us on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and let us know where you want to see us at. We are open to hear these wild adventures that you want us in, and wherever you want to see our cars in person. And we're looking forward to having a great season this year, putting out some good numbers, and seeing where me, Abe, and the guys will go next. So check you out later.
See you guys. I mean, just follow us on the social media. Let us know what you guys want to see us, like Rome said. And hey, you never know. We like racing, and we definitely gonna go out there and give you guys a show. So thank you for watching.